Hello everyone. So welcome to the 10th edition of Bengaluru International Short Film Festival. We have successfully completed our day one yesterday and we are super excited that we are doing our festival online this year and we are very happy that many filmmakers are watching. Okay, so we have our first filmmaker joined with us, that is Amit Patkar, director of Black Label. Hello Amit.
Hi, hi.
So this is a roundtable session with all the filmmakers. We
Okay,
usually do every day. We are doing it every day live. So today
okay,
this session is with the Indian competition section. So we have 5 films screening today, and other filmmakers are yet to join. So shall we start?
yeah, sure. Let's begin.
Sure. Okay. So my first question is like when I read about you, I read that you have produced so many short films, and
Yeah,
uh, this is your first film to direct, right?
right, right.
So where did you get this idea, and why this story, or and is it a true story or not?
Okay. First of all, I was, writing something else, and what happened is while discussing and while deliberating on that script, I stumbled upon the idea, which is the climax of the film Black Label. And I cannot reveal it much because it's you must have seen it. It's a suspense film, so I cannot give out. It would be a spoiler. So I thought of the climax of the film first, and then later on, the entire plot was developed in a few days from there, and that's how Black Label you know came into existence.
Okay. So we have Swapnil Kapure with us, director of Poet in Two Worlds. Hello, Swapnil.
Hi, hi, hi,
Hi,
hi,
hi,
Anagha.
Swapnil.
So I was
Hi.
asking Amit the how his idea came to do the short film. So same question for you. How did you get the idea to do Poet in Two Worlds?
Okay. Basically, after passing out from FTI, I'm a FTI graduate from the Film and Television Institute, direction pass out. So I was after completing my diploma, I was wondering about what to do and what not to do. So one of my friend, who is a lead actor, protagonist in the Poet in a Two World, who was also pass out from the film acting from FTI. So Sanjay constantly told me ki we can do something. You can cast me, and then I told him ki we can think about something which is suitable to your age. So one sudden day he sent me one short story which is written by a very prominent writer from the Marathi language, Balaji Sutar. So it's a similar name, a poet in a two words. Don Jagatla Kavi. It's a Marathi story, Marathi short story. So I
Okay.
read the story, then I work on the story. Then I told Sanjay ki I'm thinking the story have some potential of films, transform into films. Just we want the confirmation from the writer. So we made the writer, we told, we discussed the writer, then writer gave us the permissions because it's a two different mediums. The short story and its adaptation in the films are very completely different because it's a audio-visual medium. So as a screenplay writer, I wanted to freedom to wrote something, not disturbing the basic concept of the story. So I start writing. It took almost 4.5 months to write the first draft. Then I narrated the screenplay to the writer, and the writer was very happy about the screenplay. So that's how its story started. And same time, I bit know about the region where the story happens. It happens in a Marathwada region in Maharashtra.
Hmm.
So I'm from the rural background also. So I bit know about the culture, about the culture, farmers, society, and everything. So it's a bit challenging for me, and it's very interesting for me because previously I didn't do any adaptations. I wrote the screenplay for which is my own stories. So it was a very challenging part of me to just try and experiment in the adaptations. So that's how the poet in the two worlds are happens.
Okay, Swapnil, when I read about you, I read that this is your second short film. So one
Yeah.
was your college project, and this is your second short film. So how was it different shooting your second, or was it easy? Was it difficult, or how was it?
It was too difficult because when I was in FTI, so FTI provides you basic setup basically, light, camera, light boys, transportations. You just wanted to make a film, okay. But after pass out from the FTI, it was a bit difficult because it's all about the money and all about your passion. So we tried a lot for the producers, but unfortunately we can't get any producers because uh, we made some producers actually. My FTI diploma got the national award in 2018. So
Wow.
the producers' expectations were the same for the poet in the two worlds. The some producers say if we got the national, you assure for the national award for this films. So this is not in my hand. So that word didn't work out. So the few people from the FTI like Sanjay, me, Umakant, who did the sound design, and one guy from the one of our common friend Gopal. So we come together, we spend some money, and we did the shooting. Basically, independent film because very difficult because uh, uh, जैसे मैंने कहा कि it's about all about the money. So, but I got a very decent team. Within a 10, I shoot entire film with a 10 to 12 people, within a 12 to 12 people's crew. So everybody did multiple jobs. And everybody from the very passionate filmmakers, from the film institute, from the communication studies. So it's a difficult but very interesting process. Uh, Actually, it takes for poet in a two words take a 1.5 years to make this entire film because it's just about the commitment, it's just about the money. But I did. Me and my team supports me, and finally, it's on the festival journey started. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So,
Thank you.
so Amit,
Yeah.
when I saw your film,
Yeah.
I did not expect that ending to it. I really did not expect that. So, as a first time directing a film, why did you choose suspense as your genre or thriller, or why was it?
Right. First of all, when I watch a lot of short films, and I find that the genre of thriller or suspense is not explored as much as it should be. Even there are short stories where it can give you goosebumps, even much on a higher level than a feature film. There are some very interesting short stories, as Swapnil mentioned about Marathi literature and Balaji Sutar. There are many versatile writers in Marathi. Even I'm a Maharashtrian, so there are many versatile Maharashtrian writers who have short stories which have like international value, and they have that shock element. So in a short medium, this can be achieved, and I wanted to try that. So basically, that's what, and the story came to me actually, and I tried to write around it, and it happened. So I think I should have, I tried it then. And as Swapnil said, and you also mentioned, I have co-produced a few short films before. And the thing was that we used to follow a certain kind of theme and thematic to make short films before that. Now we had never made a thriller short film, and this was completely new something, and so I wanted to try out that, and actually I did that.
Okay, good to hear that. And
Yeah,
Swapnil, how was your
yeah.
shooting experience? Like when I saw the film, it was a village setup first, then going back to Pune and coming back again. So, how was it? How was the total experience of shooting?
Uh, as I said, we won't have the producers, so we are we are behind the times because it's a particular season where when I wanted to shoot this one because it's a soybean farm. It's in the last stage before the Diwali. Matlab, after Diwali, it won't see you any soybean farms. So I wanted to shoot before the Diwali, at least the farming sessions, at least the soybean farms sections I wanted to shoot. So we are planning in the we are pre-planning in the Pune, and the shooting locations is far away from the Pune. It's like it's around 5,500 kilometers from the Pune in Marathwada region. So it was a bit difficult to from the Pune you travel all together in the Marathwada regions. You find the locations. So we
Mm.
made a base in the Ambezogai region, where we are shooting in the different locations. So first we did the soybean farm shooting. 3 4 days shooting we completed. Then we find the producers, but it won't happen. But uh, by that time we are in the where we got to know we have some rushes, 3 days rushes, so we are very confident about the films. So we started the second schedule. It's a multiple schedule we did in the process of the films. It's not like it's a one go shooting, because every time I want to manage, it's a big task for the and I'm not thinking it's like uh, small play or something. I'm altogether see as a film for the, like you as you see the films, you see the auditorium exteriors and the river side. It's a multiple locations. We shot on almost 50 locations, so it was a very
So, how many
difficult
days?
task. We
How many
completed in
days did you
11,
shoot?
11 we completed completely in 11 to 12 days in a span, but we did it in a very scheduled manner. So it was a very difficult task for me because 50 locations, more than 100 characters in a short films. So everybody saying it's not
Wow.
a short film; it's like a feature film. But it's my challenging part because I want to explore all these things in terms of visuals, in terms of sound. So we are very particular, and we are very uh, we know what to do in the shooting. So we take a time for the pre-productions, more of time for the pre-productions. The shooting is just for the executions part for me. So and we did so much time, we spent so much time on this post production, because post production is very important, because there's a sound editing, and very passionate filmmakers, very passionate editors, very passionate color colorists. Because we all are from the FTI background, so we know each other. We had some trainings in terms of the filmmaking. So everybody cooperate me, and but it's a very difficult journey altogether. But it's a very interesting and very uh, memorable actually.
Okay, so Amit, your film is set up during Ganesh Chaturthi time,
Yes.
right? So, how
Yes.
did you shoot during that time, or that shot where they are taking the Ganesh and you have taken a shot where everybody has gathered? So, all those things, how did you shoot? How many days did you take?
Right. Now, the first part where the Ganesh Visarjan scenes are shot, those are completely different, and the entire film is shot in a completely different way. Uh, I've since childhood I've been living in the hub of Ganpati festival, which is in Lal Bagh, Parel, and those are the areas where these festivals are like the most brightest days are those days, the Ganesh festival days. And I've been a child and I have lived there and I've seen this innumerable times, and I exactly know what happens where. And So it was kind of, I just took my camera, and let me also tell you that the initial part, the Ganpati sequence, were shot on a smartphone. It were not shot on a cinema camera. So I just took out my smartphones and I went and went to the top of a building and went on a bridge and all those places that I knew where I could gather, where the police will gather. And since it's a police story, I wanted to cover police officers. They're performing their duties as well. So I found there was, I think it was around the total footage of only the Ganesh festival was around 2 hours and 30 minutes or something. From that, I had to pick up only 49 seconds. So that was shot differently, and the film was shot differently. Now, when you watch the film with proper headphones and proper sound, you will keep hearing the Ganesh festival around it. So that is all the work of sound designing. I myself am being a sound designer. I used to, as I said, I have co-produced sound. So I began with sound designing and music production with the short films. So I do have a certain experience with sound designing. So I use that experience in this film, and I created that atmosphere where when you watch it with a good sound system or a headphone, you will get a feel that this Ganesh festival is going around while this film is taking place. The event of this film is taking place. So yeah, so that's how it was done. And my short film was. I'm so sorry about that.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah. So my film was shot in about two schedules, two shifts, two extended shifts, you can say. We worked for about 12 to 16 hours one shift, and because I was very tight on schedule and I was very tight on budget, and I had a very limited budget, and I could not spend beyond that. And I wanted everything else to be like they use for feature film. The camera that I used was C300, which is a digital cinema camera. So the rent, the camera rent, and everything is much higher than what small cameras have. So I was on a very tight schedule, but I wanted to have the best of everything. Even actor, the Chitranjan Giri, my actor, is as a professional actor. So I wanted him. He committed to it, and we shot it. We shot it in on a tight schedule and a tight budget for 2 days.
Okay, so we can take questions from our audience.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions? Okay. How did you come up with the name Black Label?
Um, Actually, I honestly I didn't know what to call my film. Now, if you watch my film, there is a certain pattern that the film follows. If you watch my film, the film is divided into 5 chapters, and each chapter has a name that leads to the scene which happens in the film. So I tried to maintain that format, and there is a mention of of liquor Black Label, and that's the reason the name of the film is Black Label. Now, in another sense, when you see, it's a police officer's story, right? So when
Yeah,
you see a police officer in an uniform, you see a badge, a label on his chest, right? It's a black
true,
label
true.
written with white on it. That is one logic of the story of the name, and that's how I came up with the name Black Label.
Interesting, interesting. Okay. So I think that was the question. Uh, okay, so Swapnil, do you want to tell anything about your film to our audience?
Uh, Poet in a two word basically is a dilemma of this protagonist Raja, who is entangled in the. He is basically a rural poet who is a graduate, MA graduate, and it's not just about the story of the village. It's not about the story of the Raja who is a poet. It's a story about the whole system we are living in. Like in Maharashtra, the farmers community and the right now what they are facing, what the problems are. It's very different. We know about just we know about the farmer suicide and everything, but beyond the farmer suicide, there is lot of there is something happening. So that was a very catching, very interesting part for me. So I just wanted to bit explore about the two worlds, because the film name is Poet in the Two Worlds. So it's not just about the city and villages. It's about the personal life and the socio political life. It's about the father and mother. It's about the son and daughter, son and father, son and mother. It's about the poetry, one poet to another poet. There is a altogether in each and every step there is a two words for the Raja. So I just wanted to explore that kind of sense and that kind of scenario very subtly, because I believe in the visuals. The second part and the second one is I just wanted to experiment with the silence, experiment with the visuals, experiment with the sound. So if you can see the films, you can you got to know there is a minimum sounds and only the minimum dialogues, and you can see the entire environment sound, because it's a play altogether very different characters. Soybean farm is the story revolves around the soybean farm. So for me, the soybean is altogether a different character in my family. So uh, soybean is not speaking, but the soybean sound and soybean, this is environment, that the sky, and this entire farmer society, how they can live and how they can face, and the Raja's character basically, who is a poet, who don't know what to do and what not to do, because he's very interested in the poems, but the society altogether pulled him back for the poetry. So uh, it's not that's why I'm saying it's not just about the Raja, it's about the altogether the system we are living. So I just wanted to explore, and I just wanted to find myself where I am and what I want to see, मैं क्या देख रहा हूँ और मैं क्या दिखाना चाहता हूँ. That's how it is.
Okay, I think we have one more question.
Hmm.
Swapnil, in your film, the lead is writing poems. Do you
Yes.
also write poems, and who is your inspiration in poetry?
Uh, it's the poem used in the entire film. It's written by the writer itself, because the writer is a very famous poet in Maharashtra. So, but these poems are written for the very different causes and very different situations. When I write the screenplay, so from the first for the first I wanted to I wanted poems be the part of the films. So uh, I wrote I read the all the poems of the Balaji Sutar, who is unpublished right now. So from that I choose the poems, and I manipulate it with reference to my screenplay. Okay, because the one poem is the Tap Hoto. Okay, it's altogether is for the different cause and different love, but I fitted in my screenplay. So I always wanted to. I'm very keen to read the poems. So it's very interesting part for me to use the poems itself in the screenplay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Amit, we have one last question. Okay, we have for both. Amit and Swapnil loved your films. Who are the filmmakers you admire the most?
Amit.
Shall I start? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Anyone who's not me is my favorite filmmaker. Because I find inspiration in every film. Is not just not I'm just not trying to be humble or anything, but that's the truth. Every filmmaker is a human who has led his life in a different way. He has experienced different things than what I have experienced. So
Mhm.
the way he is telling his stories is would be different, and he teaches me a lot about, how, not only
Yeah.
about how film is made, but how, a life, how he sees life in a very his own, but unique way. That's how it is. But if you ask me, I began my world cinema journey. Of course, I now, as an Indian guy and Indian child, we have already grown up with a lot of regional movies and a lot of Hindi cinema. We are exposed to that. But to world cinema began with this director, the great director called Akira Kurosawa. And I think he has made a certain, space in my psyche and my head. There's no filmmaker who can touch what he has done. There's no filmmaker who can attempt, even if we try to copy him frame by frame. I think that is not possible, because what he has done is something very different. So that, and even he has worked in all kind of, genres. He has worked with samurai films, he has worked with socio-political things, he has worked with fantasy films, he's worked with thriller films. I was talking to someone the other day. There's a thriller called High and Low, and I think that is one of the finest thrillers ever made. The entire film, it's a thriller film for about 2 hours and 40 minutes or something. At the last 3 minutes, it changes into something else, and the last 3 minutes, the director tells you what he wanted to tell you from that thriller. So that kind of, stuck with me. That kind of seeped into my psyche, and maybe that is the reason Black Label is made in such a way. The where if you see it in the last 2 minutes of Black Label, they talk on something very different thing altogether. So I think, yeah, Akira Kurosawa has been the filmmaker that I have. Of course, there are other filmmakers like, there's Hitchcock and Tarantino, and there are a lot others filmmakers which I love. Michael Haneke is the latest filmmaker that I love. Ken Loach is my favorite, absolute favorite. There are a lot of filmmakers I can name. So that's it. But Akira Kurosawa has a place that no one can, move him. So yeah, that's it. Over to you, Swapnil.
Yeah, actually, I'm with you, Amit. There's a no particular filmmakers because in the world scenario, also in the Indian scenario, there are very different directors who made their places very because of what every director and every maker make very differently, make experiment very differently. It's not a very particular, but like Amit, I'm very fond. I'm very. I like the Asghar Farhadi's work very well because I'm very fan of Asghar Farhadi, like Salesman, the Separations. Uh,
Separation.
yeah, in contemporary in the Marathi industry, there are so many interesting directors like Umesh Vinayak Kulkarni, who made the Valu Vihir, and he is passed out from the FTI, so he is my senior, and we know each other. So very different filmmaking styles, and very right now. Last time I see the Bhonsle, Devashish Makhija's films. So there are so many. Young filmmakers, so many inspirations filmmakers are coming together. So uh, there is no particular, but Amit जैसे I like the Akira Kurosawa, Inarutu, Asghar Farhadi. There are few filmmakers. Their works are always inspires me because I like I most interested in the drama. So because I'm from the theater background, so I always wanted to be a drama film. This was the directors who inspires me a lot, like Inarutu, Umesh films, and other. There are so many filmmakers because we are in a FTI. The always in every day 6 o'clock there is a world cinema screening. So we saw a lot of filmmakers who did a very fabulous jobs and who inspires us. Yeah.
So, lastly, Amit, you want to tell anything about your film to our audience?
Yes, watch Black Label. First of all, it's been playing in Bangalore International Festival, and it's not available online anywhere. And since I've made the film, I've been posting it on Facebook and Instagram, and everybody's being like, asking me when can we watch. So this is the time people can watch it. And what I would like to say is, I was very lucky that I had a team that withstood with me, and like my whimsical ideas and the way I shot it. I have shot the film in a very difficult way because the place that I shot was very small. There was no way to move around, or there was half of the property, half of the things were outside. We had kept it outside the door, and it was a very inconvenient location. In spite of being that, actors like Chittaranjan Giri and Shivam and all the other crew members, they put up with me, and they said, okay, you want to do this, let's do this. They did not, complain about it. They did not raise any questions or raise any, uh, they, you know, they were with me, and that is what is I think is important for any filmmaker, to get a team that is with you every time, whatever you want to do. And since it is a short film, we don't have those luxuries that a feature film have. So there are, most of the times, we have to adjust ourselves, and to get a team that understands this is a lucky thing. And yeah, Black Label was a good experience for me, because all this time, as I said, I have co-produced a film with a couple of my friends, and all these times I was doing something else. My profile was different, but now, since I was directing it, I had written it myself, I was producing it myself, I had a completely different perspective towards filmmaking, towards filmmakers, and towards actors who work with you, and the crew as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful experience, and I think if people are liking it, and I'm getting feedback. I'm using that feedback to improve myself, and it's a wonderful experience being, I have been to a lot of film festivals. The film has already, Chittaranjan Giri has won Best Actor award in three of the film festivals. So I think it's a satisfying experience for me. And lastly, I'm participating in Bangalore Film Festival. That is like a wonderful thing that happened in this quarantine, in these difficult times. So I'm very happy right now, and I would urge everyone to watch all the short films that are available here. And I'm going to do that. I'm doing that. I'll be watching. So I've not watched Swapnil's film. I'll be doing that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Okay.
we have come to the end of our session today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, both of you. Both of your films were wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So it was indeed great talking with both of you.
Hmm.
So
Thank you.
please watch
Yeah.
all the films in the
Yeah.
festival, and you can give feedback there. You can talk to the filmmakers. You can watch filmmakers talking. So
Hmm.
please do all these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Amit. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you, Anagha.
Swapnil.
Yeah.